All right, and welcome back to this video series on work orders. Now we're going to be taking a look at the work order data tab and specifically going into work order entry. And now keep in mind, if you've been using Express Maintenance for a while, you're going to see some changes to some fields. What we're talking about here is just some of our best practices, and specifically today we're going to be covering how to do the work order data entry on the header section, the services section, and the parts. So let's get going. All right, so here we are. We're back in the work orders at the work order overview, and I have a work order I need to enter. Now, in this video, we're not talking about preventive maintenance work orders. That should come from the service overview. We're not talking about work orders that have come from requests. That should come from Express requests, and you should be monitoring your requests and seeing those requests come in and converting those requests into work orders. We're talking about a technician, a mechanic, identifies an issue and needs to enter a demand work order. It could be that they were performing a preventive maintenance work order, and based on the best practice of a 15-minute stop loss, if the repair is going to take more than 15 minutes, then they need to create a new work order. This would be a good example of that. Or they are walking by the air compressor and they realize that it needs an inspection or something needs to be repaired, then they would enter a demand work order. So we're going to be talking about demand work orders, and the way you do that is you can, from the work order overview, you can click on the insert record. That will start a new work order. Or you can go to the work order data tab and hit insert record, and here you are. So the first thing you have to do is pick that unit name, and we're going to pick that air compressor, and it's going to autofill the unit number, site and location, and company. Then I'm going to go down here to scheduled. Now if it's something that I can work on now, then I will keep it as scheduled. I'm going to skip the started and completed, and for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to assume that there was an issue identified, and I don't have time to get to it right now. But I want to get that record of the work order in the system so that I know I need to come back to it. All right, so the started and completed are obviously going to be left alone for now. The reference is a field that is specifically for requests that will auto-generate if a work order is generated from a request, so you can skip that. Category, anytime we use this plus button, we have this set up to where this automatically sets to demand reactive. Okay, and then likewise, if it's coming from a service, it's going to automatically default to planned proactive. Come over down here to the group. If it is a demand reactive, then we use the breakdown mechanical, electrical, pneumatic, hydraulic. In this case, we'll say it's a belt. So I have a mechanical breakdown classification. If I know that I have the parts on hand and I have time to do it now, then I'm going to go ahead and put scheduled. If I don't know, and I'm going to come back to this later, I might put needs reviewed. If I know I have a crap ton of those belts on hand, then I can say it's ready to schedule. I just don't have time to schedule it now. So in this case, we're going to say I've got time to do it as soon as I get done entering this work order. I'm going to put scheduled. Then we come over here, and don't worry about the created on. It's going to save it as soon as I save. The priority, that's up to you. We have ours set as defaulted as emergency, high, medium, low. We like to be really specific by the number of days. What source? This is going to be a manual. The requester, there's no requester here because it's just me. Work group is maintenance technician. I'm going to pick my name out of the hat. And then the labor rate is a default labor rate that we talked about in the setup and best practices video. Now, if this is a air compressor that's based on hours, then I want to note those hours that the air compressor is on. We'll say it's at 8,000 hours. Okay. Next, I need to select a service. So come down here to the services tab. Then I hit the plus button, and I can go over here and select from a list of services that are assigned to that piece of equipment, or limit to matching unit category. If I don't, then I just see all this big long list of services, and I can type in, and the way that we have it, our services set up is if it's a repair service, then we type in the actual item that needs to be worked on. And the way that we describe this is we go noun, verb. So in this case, it's a belt. If I type in belt, then it then tells me all of the different things that I can do. So belt repair, belt replace, we're going to replace a belt. Now, none of these need to be filled out, because I haven't completed it, I haven't performed it. I can go ahead and fill out the technician if I want to, but we're just going to go straight over here to parts. And then under the parts section, I know what belt I need. So I'm going to type in belt. Here's all the different belts that I have. And it's going to be a V-belt. Quantity 1, and I'm ready to go. This work order is now ready to be worked. It's going to save it. Gives me the work order number, the created on, and fills out the rest of it. Okay, so now I go do the work. Okay, and there's one other piece that we can mention here, and that is the mobile app, which I could be doing this on the mobile app, and that'll be in a separate video, and hopefully we'll be able to link another video here. But for now, we're just looking at Express Maintenance Desktop. So now I go do the work, I come back, I search for this work order number, and I pull it up. I have now completed the work. The first thing we want to do is go over here to technician notes, and I want to get everything that I just experienced written down. Okay, and different companies have different requirements for technician notes, but you can enter your technician notes here as far as what you found, what you did, and as much detail as you want or need to require. Then you have attachments. This could be images, this could be invoices, this could be any attachment or file type that you want to attach. You can attach that here. Then you go over here to parts, and yep, I used one of these, and you can use Cost Center if you want. In this case, we have a Cost Center for maintenance parts right there. I've completed it and hit the completed on. We'll just do today, and then I move on, save that, move on to services. Then I say, oh, yep, I completed it. It was performed today. The total number of hours was 1.5, and that is it. Now, because I had to take this air compressor offline and it caused downtime, I'm going to go to my downtime clock here and hit the insert button. I'm going to take my hours and march them back to when I actually started it, and we'll say it was at 0923, and then I go to the unit uptime, and we'll just make it right now. When I hit checkbox, it's going to tell me exactly how many hours it was down to the 4th decimal. Okay, now we don't need to set it down, we need to set it up, because it is up right now. Once I've got all my data entry, I can just hit the checkbox, and it will save that information as soon as I close out. Transfers it over here to my downtime field. Alright, so then moving on over, I'm going to finish this by putting in my start time. And again, I can be very specific with the time if you want to track the time, or I can be as general as just putting in the date. That's okay too. And then you'll hit the checkbox. Now, some of you may be in the habit of hitting this checkbox, and that's okay as long as the start time, completed time of both the parts, services, the technician matches the technician up here. You've got all your data correct, because when you use this checkbox, it's going to autofill making some assumptions, and those assumptions may or may not be true. The way that we train best practices is you enter a work order starting with the header, then going to services, parts, then you complete a work order by going from parts to services to header, and then you use this checkbox right here to post it. And that is how you complete, how you enter a work order, and then how you complete it once you have entered it on demand work orders.